Hello, 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 dear podcasters. Welcome back to another episode of AI Cafe Conversation. This is your host, Sahar, and I am your AI whisperer. And today we are brewing something exceptionally special for our 24th episode. I can't believe this is the 24th episode, you guys. So grab your favorite cup of coffee, settle into your cozy corner, and let's embark on a delightful journey into the world of artificial intelligence. But before I even tell you what I'm going to be talking about today, let me share with you a couple of news that happened this week, like I always do, and then I'm going to give you a couple of tools or a couple of prompts that you can use. The first one is that for all free user of ChatGPT, they can actually create 2 free pictures on DALL-E now a day, which is awesome. Before you couldn't do it. You had to be actually a paid version to be able to do pictures on DALL-E, but now you can actually do 2 of them, which is awesome for those that don't have a ChatGPT paid account. The other thing is that Google CEO Sundar Pichai, I hope I'm saying it the right way, announced that there is a 120 million global fund that will make AI education and training available around the world in partnership with local non-profits. He thinks that AI is the most transformative technology, and he wants to make sure that everybody has access to information and provide alerts for climate disaster and fuel economic progress. I say this is awesome, so let's see how is that gonna develop. The other thing that Google also has this week is that they are testing a new feature. It's called Chrome Canary, and it will get us as user to use something like a PIN or a fingerprint recognition or face authentication before we can even autofill the saved logins and websites. They're doing that for safety, over growing concerns about how people are actually hacking into accounts now, specifically using AI, which is awesome. It makes me feel a little bit better. Google released its new Imagine 3 that is for creating pictures. I have to admit, I used it myself and I wasn't able to get what I wanted. So hopefully it will develop to something better. And the example I used, I said like, create a picture with a woman that is a leader, that is happy and motivated to go through her day. And the answer I got was like, we cannot impersonate people, which doesn't make any sense to me. I tried to put another prompt for it, and even whatever it gave me wasn't really what I wanted for. So I guess Google is still struggling with whatever they have. And this was actually my personal experience with that. So the other thing is I use Gemini every now and then. The new things about Gemini is that they actually are giving you resources like how or credibility or whatever you want to call it. It's like what Perplexity is doing. The other thing I also learned this week is that Alexa will be using from now on Claude 3.5. It's going to be generated by that, but they are also thinking on having a membership between $5 and $10, which I don't think is correct because we all bought the Alexas thinking that it's going to give us what we want. It has been kind of below average, honestly, though I love it. But now they are gonna have it with Claude, which is gonna be great. But I believe we already pay for Prime, so we shouldn't be charged for membership. So let me know what you think about that. Another news about Amazon is that they launched new AI tools for sellers. So if you are selling on Amazon, this is for you. So they have tools that can create video ads, that can generate product links in bulk, and introduce Amelia. Amelia is an assistant for account management and data retrieval. Also, Apple expanded access to beta testing for its AI iOS update. I'm not sure if you have been watching the commercials on TV lately about the iPhone 16 and about the AI intelligence that they're gonna, or it's very clever what they did. They call it Apple Intelligence, which also is AI, so they can basically grab on the AI that exists in the market. So, so they have really new features in it, so we'll see what will develop out of that. I will keep you informed as well. I'm going to share some California news since I reside in California. So the governor of California, Gavin Newsom, signed 2 digital replica bills to protect actors, living and deceased, and then signed 3 more deep fake bills live on stage at Dreamforce 2024. As for the SB 1047, the one that will limit the research for AI, he expressed concerns. He still has till September 30th to do whatever he needs to do. The other thing is, going back to Google, they plan to flag AI-generated images in search. Snapchat will add a Google Lens feature to its My AI chatbot, and it announced an introduction to an AI video generator for creators. I will always thank the Neuron and AI tool report for the news that I get that I can actually share with you. What else I want to tell you about that? I think these are all the news that I want to share with you today. A couple of prompts that you can do, like one of the prompts that you can enter into Chat GPT on optimizing your website for SEO or for search engine is you always start with a role. So as my SEO strategist, provide guidelines for optimizing our website's meta tags, headers, and images for search engine. You can also enter the URL of your website to make it very focused, if you want to call it. So again, as my SEO strategist, provide guidelines for optimizing our website's meta tags, headers, and images for search engines. This morning I was working with one of my clients on presentations.ai. He wanted to kind of decide if he wants to get the paid version or not. And we actually played with it using a prompt or using a document. And the one thing that they just added this morning, I guess last week, because it wasn't there last week, is now you have 3 choices what you can do on presentation.ai, which I highly recommend. I use it myself, the paid version. So 1 is to enter a prompt. 2 is to just upload a document or a video. 3, you can now beautify, they call it, the slides that you have. I always rather do the prompt so I could be in control. So what I found out that they added on how to use a prompt is that now, again, on the paid version, you can use a URL for a website if you want it for reference. The other thing, you can now actually upload a document of what you are doing the presentation on, which is awesome. So we tried that. And first, it will generate the ideas, generate the prompts for you that you can go and edit if you want something added. And then it will generate an agenda for you. And as you still can edit it. And then after that, it can generate the slides for you. You have up to 30 slides to do. And you can choose the fonts and you can use the color brand that you want on it. I personally love presentations.ai. I have also been playing with gamma.ai, which is the free version is actually pretty good. Presentation.ai, if you have the free version, you cannot download them as slides. You can download them only as PDF or pictures, but gamma.ai, you can actually download it as slides, but it will have that watermark on it that is gamma.ai. So now let's go into the subject of today, because I have been researching it for probably the last week or 10 days, and you're going to know what I'm talking about in a second. So I want to take you with me on a journey. So imagine walking into your favorite cafe. The aroma of freshly ground coffee beans fills the air, and the barista greets you with a knowing smile. They remember your usual order, but are always ready to suggest something new that might tickle your fancy. That's the kind of personalized experience we all cherish, don't we? Well, today we are going to talk about an AI that's like that friendly barista. Meet ChatGPT. It's the new wave in AI technology, bringing a fresh blend of innovation and personalization to our digital interactions. We will explore how ChatGPT is different, the new flavors it introduces, and how you can optimize your order and get the best out of it. So what exactly is ChatGPT is? And actually ChatGPT, a lot of people have been using it, but I'm looking at it from a different lens that I'm sharing with you today, and I'll tell you in a second why. So picture it as the latest coffee concoction that's taking the cafe world by storm. Built on the GPT-4 architecture, it's designed to understand and generate human-like text based on the input it receives. But what sets it apart from previous versions or other AI models? This is what we're going to discuss today. So they just released the new platform o1 that can some kind of think for itself. The only difference is that it takes few seconds longer, and it will tell you thinking, right? So think of the older AI models, and we had few, like including the 4.0 that we thought was like out there. But now the o1 is actually part of the Strawberry project that I have been talking about for the last couple of weeks or 3 weeks. So if we think of the older AI model as instant coffee, I like instant coffee, by the way, just saying. It's not bad in a pinch, but lacking depth and complexity. ChatGPT, on the other hand, is like a meticulous, crafted, pour over coffee. It takes time to understand the nuances of your request, considers the context, and delivers a response that's rich and satisfying. One of the remarkable things about ChatGPT is its ability to generate more coherent and contextually appropriate responses. For me, honestly, I prefer ChatGPT on all of them, but I like Claude as well. But Claude has a lot of restrictions because it's more on the conservative side. So ChatGPT is like asking the barista that really knows you for a recommendation, and instead of suggesting a generic latte, they consider your taste preferences, the weather, and perhaps even your mood to craft the perfect drink. So how can you optimize your experiences with ChatGPT? This is what I'm going to be discussing now. You might be wondering, how do I get the best out of this AI barista? And I have read a lot of stuff online. Most of them is like, forget prompt engineering, forget prompt chaining. And I thought it's true that you're just going to enter a couple of words and you're going to have like a magic wand. While it's partially true, but it's not true. And I didn't like the fact that they just implied that it's totally different. You still need to prompt. Not as much as before, obviously, but you still need to prompt. But I thought it was irresponsible for some of them to say, it totally changed. You don't need any prompt chaining or any prompt engineering, which I found was not the truth, even after discussing it with my friend ChatGPT one-on-one. So how do we get the best of this new AI platform? Great question. Just like customizing your coffee order, the key lies in how you communicate your preferences. 1. Be specific with your request. The more details you provide, the better ChatGPT can tailor its response. Instead of saying, I want coffee, you might say, I had like a medium roast with a hint of caramel and a splash of oat milk. Similarly, when interacting with ChatGPT, providing context and specific leads to more accurate and helpful responses. 2, use clear language, like I always say, even on any form of AI that you use. Ambiguity can lead to misunderstandings. If you ask for a hot drink, you could end up with tea, coffee, or even hot chocolate. But clearly stating your request ensures you get exactly what you want. Number 3, set the tone and style. Do you prefer a formal or casual tone? Just as you might choose a cozy cafe over a bustling one, letting ChatGPT know your preferred style can enhance the interaction. And by the way, you can do part of that clarity and be specific on the language and set the tone and style. If you go to your account on AI in the settings, and you can personalize how you want it to respond to you and who you are. So ChatGPT represents actually a significant shift in how we interact with AI. It's not just about getting information, but it's about engaging in meaningful dialogue. This new wave is akin of the third wave of coffee, a movement that values quality, sustainability, and the overall experience. I actually asked it, how do you want me to call you since you know my name? And she responded like, just call me ChatGPT. I guess she's gonna share her real name with me when we get closer, okay? Businesses are integrating ChatGPT to improve customer service, writers use it as brainstorming partner, and learners find it as a helpful tutor. It's like how cafes have become not just places to grab a drink, but community hubs where ideas are exchanged. So let's talk about limitations, okay? Like with any technology or with coffee, it's essential to be aware of the limitations. Even the best barista might occasionally get an order wrong, especially if the instructions are unclear. So number 1, accuracy. While ChatGPT is highly advanced, it doesn't possess consciousness or true understanding. It generates responses based on patterns in data, and it was trained on up till 2021. Always double check critical information from reliable sources. That's why I see that this is more for the free version of ChatGPT, because the paid versions work on internet, so it's actually real time. 2, sensitivity to input. Small changes in how you phrase your question can lead to different responses. This is on all of them, not only ChatGPT. It's like ordering coffee with milk versus latte. The end result might vary. Number 3, ethical consideration. Just as we consider fair trade and ethical sourcing in our coffee, we should be mindful on how we use AI. Avoid using it to spread misinformation or for malicious purposes. The introduction of ChatGPT and how it's going to work for our future is like the emergence of a new coffee culture. It does not replace the need for human interaction, but enhances our capabilities. Imagine collaborating with an AI that can help you draft emails, plan trips, learn new topics, and even compose music. However, it's important to strike a balance, like I always say. Just as we wouldn't want to replace all human baristas with machines, we value the human touch. We should see AI as a tool that complements rather than replaces human effort. As we move forward, the synergy between human and AI, like ChatGPT, will become increasingly important. It's about creating a harmonious blend, much like the perfect cup of coffee that balances bitterness, acidity, and sweetness. Before we wrap up, some practical ways on how you incorporate ChatGPT in your daily life. You can use it for learning and education, to explain complex concepts in simpler terms. Creative writing. If you're stuck on a story, ChatGPT can help generate ideas or even draft portions of text, sparking your creativity. Decision making, ways, pros and cons. I just learned that some people are entering discussions or dialogues they had with their boyfriends or girlfriend or spouses, and ask ChatGPT on how to respond to create peace. Okay, to each his own, I guess. Decision making can help you with pros and cons because you can outline different aspects to consider. Language practice, you can practice a new language with ChatGPT. Remember also, ChatGPT passed the bar exam as a lawyer, passed the MCAT and the medical board exam. Okay, closing thoughts. As we conclude today's episode, I encourage you to explore and experiment with ChatGPT. Again, the o1 is not on the free version yet. It's only on the paid version. Just like trying a new coffee blend, you might discover something that enhances your daily routine. Remember, the goal is to make technology work for us, enriching our experiences without overshadowing the human element that makes interactions meaningful. Thank you for joining me on this delightful journey through the world of ChatGPT and the new wave it brings to AI interactions. I hope you found our cafe both enjoyable and insightful. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe to AI Cafe Conversations, share it with your friends, and leave a review. It really helps me a lot. Your feedback is the cream to our coffee. It makes everything better. Until next time, this is Sahar, your AI whisperer, reminding you to stay curious, stay compassionate, and as always, savor the moment, one sip at a time. If you have any questions or you want me to discuss any ideas, please feel free to email me at Sahar, Sahar, @saharconsulting.com. I would love to hear from you.